we asked our own audience whether they think meme stock trading is back, and no, it would seem we put a poll out to Twitter, and overall they said the trend is dead. What are you seeing in terms of a desire to be backing these meme companies again?
I think the trend, when compared to the context of 2021 and the GameStop fiasco of early 21, that I don't think we'll ever see those kinds of craziness again. But the meme stocks, Bed Bath and Beyond and others, are very much still alive, and in the world of the trading and investing community that's quite active, they're still there, and alive and well might be aggressive. I mean, but these, as we just saw in the segment there, Bed Bath and Beyond, there's a lot of questions of whether it will be alive. They made their announcements last week around going concerns, and with the wider than expected loss that they posted today, and kind of the missed revenue expectations, there's a lot of bearish sentiment around there. But the community is still actively talking about it. From our community, the message volume, in the last few days has been extremely high. And with meme stocks in general, the message volumes have retained for some. So, AMC still finished last year, 2022, as the #1 most talked about stock on Stocktwits. It was #1 in 2021 as well. So, still around. And the conversations are still happening with these companies.
Hey, Rishi, good to see you. We're just showing some of the top stock tickers on your platform, AMC and other kind of known meme stock, Tesla being another one. By the way, I love your jumper. It says for our audience, New York or nowhere. You just sweatshirt. Here we go. We just talked about the energy on your platform, right? I look at the headline. When do you ever get a headline that says X company headed for bankruptcy, and you see a stock jump 28%? My question is, what is it that's driving the energy on your platform? Is it this herd narrative? Is it the idea that there are short sellers there? What is it that is actually causing volume of conversation?
Well, I think it is the volatility around it, right? It is the combination of those. So you have, the short sellers and those that are, fundamental investors and are telling us for all the reasons why, Bed Bath and Beyond likely, may not be around in a year from now. At the same time, you have those that, believe in, look at the price action, believe in the opportunities, and get together and say, hey, this is a company like they can reorganize, and, what value can we find in this? And so the debate, the conversation remains. There's passion around moving these, today's move, we don't, really know, hey, it was a pretty big move on a percentage basis today. Is that short covering, from the lows of last week and the announcements of last week, right? And with the news finally coming out today, so sell on the news or cover on the news. So, the conversation continues to happen, and it's this, discovery process between the bears and the bulls. And while, the bears are very strong right now, and the sentiment around Bed Bath & Beyond specifically is extremely bearish, the conversation still happens. The markets are alive, right? People are still trading it. It's, the volumes are there.
And they're cash tagging. I have to say, I didn't realize it was you guys. It was Stocktwits that came up with a cash tag. I'm interested in, we talked sentiment, we talked particular names. What was so interesting in all the most active names on your platform was a load of them were EVs, not just Tesla, but ones that are based out in Asia and Vietnam, some smaller known companies. Is the trend going to be EV? Is it going to be AI? Can you see the beginning, the pickups in certain narratives?
We are, speaking of AI, right? And I just saw the segment on ChatGPT, fascinating, though I've also only used it for boring things thus far. But I think you look at that, and for us, actually, that's an area that we want to invest in to try to help us understand better even all the data and the content that we have underlying it. We have our sentiment analytics and some of these other things, but you can definitely start to see trends, maybe not far ahead, but in some cases, a little bit ahead of than what kind of the maybe mainstream media picks up on. And EVs are a very interesting space because EVs, a lot of them went public through SPACs. SPACs have a large retail community around them, and so there's a lot of passion around the EVs. Obviously, you have Tesla, which is kind of the godfather of not only just all stocks, but the EV world. But
yes.
Then, you have your Mullins and your Lucids and your Fiskars, et cetera, et cetera. And we have CEOs from them. Some of these, I believe, the CEO of Fiskar is active on Stocktwits. But these companies have really robust followings and highly engaged followings, maybe because they got in at the SPAC, or maybe because, hey, I love Tesla and I hate Mullen, or I love, the next, product to come out of Fisker, and so, I think that's going to, destroy Mullen, or whatever the case may be, right? And so these are very retail-driven stocks. I think just, the genesis for a lot of them coming out of the SPAC world being very SPAC retail-driven, and so you will continue to. I do think in 2023 we'll continue to see a lot of conversation around the EV world. I think, there's a lot of interesting things that are going to happen in the EV space. We're going to see if, what happens with Tesla, and that's going to be I think, bellwether for the conversation there.